Welcome to the most exciting part of your week, the F1 News Roundup. This week, we will be taking a look at what Ricciardo said about his struggles at McLaren. We'll also discuss the possibility of Lewis Hamilton losing his 2008 F1 title, as well as some other fascinating news and updates from the world of Formula One. So, stay tuned. Let's begin with what Peter Windsor said about the 2021 Abu Dhabi GP. The 2023 Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park was one for the books, with a chaotic and eventful race that left fans on the edge of their seats. After a late red flag due to an incident on the track, the race was suspended and a 2-lap sprint was attempted to finish the race. However, chaos ensued at the restart, with multiple collisions causing yet another stoppage. Eventually, the race was restarted and Max Verstappen emerged as the victor, leading the field at a reduced pace behind the safety car. Interestingly, the reaction of the spectators to the safety car finish at Albert Park was positive, according to commentator Peter Windsor. He believes that this proves that concluding races under green flag conditions is not always necessary, and that a safety car finish can be just as exciting and satisfying for fans. This viewpoint is particularly relevant given the controversial circumstances surrounding Verstappen's maiden World Championship win at the 2021 season finale in Abu Dhabi. Windsor said via his YouTube channel, "They finished the race in Melbourne behind the safety car. Ring any bells? That's the finish we should have gotten in Abu Dhabi in 2021. Of course, you don't win or lose a championship in one race. What I'm talking about is the decision that was taken, and nobody cared at all in Melbourne. The Australians just loved that safety car. They were all cheering. Everybody stood and cheered and clapped, and it was a great moment, just as it would have been in Abu Dhabi in 21. Hamilton has been without a victory since the penultimate round of the 2021 season and suffered the first winless season of his career during Mercedes' troubled 2022 campaign. The aftermath of Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 had far-reaching consequences, not only for the world at large, but also for the Haas Formula One team. The team had been relying on the sponsorship money of Russian oligarch Dmitry Mazepin to fund his son Nikita's place in the team since 2021. However, when sanctions were imposed on Russian activities, the sponsorship money dried up, and Haas had no choice but to terminate both the sponsorship contract of Dmitry Mazepin's Uralkali company and the driver contract of Nikita Mazepin. For Haas team principal Günther Steiner, this created yet another sponsorship controversy, which he had to deal with, taking him away from the more pressing issue of finding more performance for his team. In Steiner's book, Surviving to Drive, the fateful day of February 24th was detailed. It started with the news of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which Steiner admits was concerning, but he was more focused on his team, Haas, and their upcoming race. Upon arriving at the track, Steiner was bombarded with over 100 texts and 70 voice messages on his phone. He recounts a conversation with one of his engineers who pointed out the irony of Haas having a Russian driver and sponsor at the start of a Russian war that made everyone hate Russia. The book goes on to detail the conversations Steiner had with Nikita, the Russian driver for Haas. It is clear that their relationship did not end on good terms, as Nikita expressed his displeasure at being sacked and launched a legal case against Haas for alleged unpaid wages. Felipe Massa is reportedly exploring options to dispute his loss to Lewis Hamilton in the 2008 World Championship after new information was revealed by Bernie Ecclestone. The infamous Crashgate scandal in which Nelson Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed during the Singapore Grand Prix that year to help his teammate Fernando Alonso has been linked to Massa's loss of the championship. Massa eventually lost out on the championship by a single point. Despite complaining at the time, the FIA stated that nothing could be changed due to a rule that said once the Prize de Vie ceremony had taken place, results were set in stone. However, Bernie Ecclestone let slip a new piece of evidence last month. Speaking to F1 Insider, he revealed that he and then FIA President Max Mosley knew about the situation during the 2008 season. Ecclestone said, "We had enough information in time to investigate the matter. According to the statutes, we should have cancelled the race in Singapore under these conditions. That means it would never have happened for the championship standings. And then Felipe Massa would have become world champion and not Lewis Hamilton." Having heard Ecclestone's revelation, Massa is now exploring his options to dispute the loss. Daniel Ricciardo opens up about his tough time at McLaren. Daniel Ricciardo's time at McLaren was a difficult and frustrating period, as acknowledged by both the Australian driver and McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown. Despite his victory at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix, The partnership between Ricciardo and McLaren simply could not work out. Brown referred to it as F1's great mystery. After 2 seasons on the team, it was decided that Ricciardo's contract would be terminated early at the end of the 2022 campaign. While Ricciardo admits to some potential shortcomings of his own, he also feels that the team played a role in his struggles. The experience was a significant blow to Ricciardo's confidence, which had been one of his greatest assets as an 8-time race winner. To recharge and recover, he made the decision to take a break from F1 in 2023 and sit on the sideline. Ricciardo said, "For many years I truly believed I was the best, and I am the best in the world, so whatever the situation, I'll be able to overcome it. And obviously with McLaren, it was tough for me to do that, having a bit of a chance to remove myself from it. And now looking back on the last 2 years, I would have done things differently if I had that time again, or maybe ask more questions, or been a little bit more demanding. But you also live and you learn, so I don't look back with regret. That was a situation, and I got through it." Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque driver for Scuderia Ferrari, has been dealing with an invasion of his privacy after his home address in Monaco was leaked to the public. The situation has escalated to the point where countless people have been ringing his doorbell, causing a significant amount of stress and disruption to his personal life. Leclerc, who has already had a difficult start to the 2023 F1 season, with 2 DNFs in the first 3 races, has asked for people to respect his privacy and stop harassing him. He expressed his frustration with the situation, explaining that he has not been able to switch off and relax at home due to the constant interruptions. For Leclerc, who has always been a private person, this intrusion into his personal life has been particularly distressing. He has made it clear that he values his privacy and is not comfortable with the attention he has been receiving. This is not the first time that an F1 driver's privacy has been compromised, and it highlights the need for greater respect and boundaries in the sport. As fans, we should be mindful of the impact that our actions can have on the personal lives of drivers and their families. Hopefully, Leclerc will be able to find a solution to this situation soon, and he can focus on his racing without any further distractions. The upcoming Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix is expected to mark a turning point for Mercedes in the 2023 F1 season, as the team plans to introduce a significant upgrade package for their W14 car. According to team principal Toto Wolff, the upgrade will involve a change in the car's layout, though no further details have been revealed. The Mercedes team has been struggling to find its form in the early part of the season following a disappointing 2022 campaign. While there were some signs of improvement at the season-opening Australian Grand Prix, the team has still not reached the level of dominance that they had enjoyed in previous years. With this in mind, Mercedes is working hard to make improvements to the car, and the upgrade package planned for Imola is seen as a key part of this effort. While the team has not yet revealed exactly what changes will be made, there is speculation that the package will include updates to the car's aerodynamics and suspension, as well as improvements to the engine and powertrain. Toto Wolff stated, "I don't want to change the goals yet. I always want to think that we are here to fight for a world championship, even if it doesn't seem realistic. We are only at the beginning, and I want to keep the team motivated to do the best possible job. There are many innovations in the pipeline. The layout of the car will change at Imola, and we will see what this step entails. But even after just 3 races, winning the World Championship already seems like a tough task, with Red Bull 58 points ahead of second-place Aston Martin." Carlos Sainz expressed his dissatisfaction with the FIA after he was handed a 5-second time penalty for a crash with Fernando Alonso at the Australian Grand Prix, calling it the most unfair penalty he has seen in his life. The incident occurred on the penultimate lap of the race, where Alonso was in 3rd place and Sainz was behind him. The crash caused a series of other collisions and brought out the 3rd red flag of the race. Sainz was given a 5-second penalty and was relegated to last place out of the 12 cars that finished. The penalty was controversial as the final lap was completed behind a safety car, giving Sainz no opportunity to create at least a 5-second gap from his competitors behind him. As he waited in the pit lane for the rolling restart, Sainz told his team over the radio that the penalty was unacceptable. He then went even further to say after the race, "It is the biggest disgrace I've seen in the sport for many years." Even Alonso thought it was a harsh call against the Ferrari driver. Now over to you. Do you agree that Sainz's penalty was unfair? Let us know in the comments section below. That's the end of this week's Roundup. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's Roundup.